championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining, and they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes, sir. We're back. Welcome to the Taproom Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jordan Stacks on Stacks. Let's join with my man, Mr. Raider Eddie. What's going on, Eddie?
Not much, man. Just chilling. Another day in paradise. Glad to be on the show. Now ready to get talking about tonight's game.
Hell yeah, man. I can see you're not having a great night though.
It was all right. It wasn't the obviously not the result you wanted, but at least I didn't feel like the Warriors lost, like let the Celtics win the game. Like game one did. Celtics went out and won this game. Like that wasn't the issue. I fucking hate Scott Foster though, dude. Like,
Hold on. Before we get to the game, I do have to mention we are being brought to you by Tavour. Make sure to go to Tavour.com or download the Tavour app straight to your mobile device and use promo code TAPROOM for $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. That's craft beer delivered straight to your front door. You don't even have to get up, except when you have to sign for the package. So make sure to do that. Use promo code TAPROOM, $10 off. Eddie, let's talk about game one because obviously we're coming right off it. This is heat of the moment. You're a Warriors fan.
mm-hmm.
So, tell me your thoughts on game three here, and we'll go through this.
So, I mean, the game kind of went as typical game threes go. I feel like every time it's game three, right? The home team has that first quarter outburst. Being at home, especially being 1-1, right? So they went home and they went on the road, took care of business. Fans are going to be crazy. And the Celtics came out in the first quarter and jumped out to that 15-point lead early. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the opposite of as the road team that you can allow. You can't allow that 15-point lead. You got to try to keep it close, like 8-10, because they're going to have that spurt. Third quarter, typical third quarter. If you're not betting Warriors third quarter by this point, like I don't know why you're not taking the free money. But fourth quarter comes around. That third quarter took all the gas out of the Warriors. Celtics hit some shots, won the game, right? I mentioned earlier about Scott Foster. Like, it's not good when you know an official's name. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like in any sport, you know what I'm saying? In any sport, it's not good when you know the official's name. They purposely bring Foster in like game threes, game fours to kind of mellow out the series, right? Because he doesn't care if he's calling, he's going to call the game to do exactly that, especially after what happened in game two. So you have to expect that coming. But I mean, at the end of the day, the Celtics got most of the loose balls, right? They were the more aggressive team going to the basket. And it took the Warriors a full half to figure out that they just need to get Al Horford up at the top of the key, and then they can do pretty much whatever they want. It took way too long. They were able to take advantage of that in the third quarter, but then they took Horford out. Yeah, they took Horford out, and then they were kind of like, oh, well, there goes our game plan. And Robert Williams played a great game. I think he was the most underrated player in that game. Plus, I mean, how many times Marcus Smart going to go off for 25 like that, dude? Again,
Marcus Smart scored 25, but he wasn't good. He had a ton of turnovers, a ton of bad turnovers too, like really bad turnovers.
Like I feel like he's the reason the Warriors got back in it.
Yeah, he was, dude. He had like he had three terrible turnovers, dude. Like,
right.
One of them, he literally jumps in the air and like he has
just
nowhere to throw
right
the ball.
Wiggins.
Like you might as well just throw it out of bounds, dude. You know what I mean? Like
right.
At least you could set your defense. But he literally threw it like 25 feet back. Wiggins gets it and fucking they get a layup. I mean, those are the kind of turnovers that cost them game two. And it almost cost them in game three here, but they were actually able to kind of settle down. I mean, this has been what I've been saying about the Celtics all fucking playoffs, dude, is they're like Jekyll and Hyde. They play some really great, phenomenal basketball, and then they have these periods where they just play the dumbest fucking basketball you've ever seen. And it's like unexplainable, dude. It's like it is explainable. They don't have a true point guard. That's their biggest problem. So when it comes to like controlling the game and controlling tempo, they don't have that guy that can like settle down an offense and get Jason Tatum into a good set to get him a good shot, or Jaylen Brown into a good shot. Instead, it's Jason Tatum making the decision. He's a great player, don't get me wrong, but he's not LeBron James. You know what I mean? Like,
He's not a decision maker, dude.
He's not a facilitator. Like, they need that kind of guy there. So, I mean, that's the biggest issue about the Celtics. But I mean, in this game, I think you said it. Like, Robert Williams was huge in this game. In game 2, he could barely run to half court. He looked fucking complete hobbled. He's been playing on a bad knee all playoffs.
Right.
And Al Horford, he is good, and like the Celtics do need him. But you're right. Like, they were getting him into that pick and roll. He was playing the drop coverage. They got to switch. You know what I mean? And like, let Al Horford guard Curry in space, because at least you can let whoever's guarding Curry try to fight over the screen if you hedge the screen.
Right.
And then if they aren't able to fight, then he just switches onto him real quick. You know what I mean? But
yeah, like I'm curious to see the adjustments going into game 4, because obviously they can't allow that to happen, right? And if the like what they got in the fourth quarter, what became successful is one, the Warriors started to turn the ball over in the fourth quarter, but I feel like they used so much energy to come back in that third quarter.
yeah.
It was you kind of saw the writing on the wall, right? Because
what happens? It wasn't even offense though. It was really
the defense.
Their defense. They couldn't play defense because they kept getting switches onto Poole and Curry and just kept attacking and going straight at the basket. Even Clay, they were attacking because nobody could stay in front of anyone except for Andrew Wiggins. At some point, if you're Steve Kerr, do you make the decision to bring Kuminga onto the floor to give you some more athleticism?
I bet you he plays game 4. I almost guarantee that he'll play game 4. And I would actually take Jordan Poole and sit his fucking ass on the bench, dude. Like, I'm tired of seeing him dribble around for 30 minutes possession and then fucking jump in the air, turn it over. Like, he's not scoring, so why have him on the floor? Like, he's not a good defender. He's not really a good facilitator. Like, yes, he has flashy passes, but it's only after he sets up something, right? Like, he can't run in the flow of the offense. This is like another level for Jordan Poole to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's not that guy yet. Maybe in a couple years he can be. But this is like a big time, like when they're locking you down, like when they are focusing on you, what happens? And this is what you're seeing. So I would prefer actually if Jordan Poole sat on the bench, maybe came in later in the game, because they subbed him in with like 6 minutes to go in the first quarter, or 5 minutes to go, somewhere around that range.
Less than that. It was like 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, but like they subbed him in when offense wasn't the problem. That was my biggest issue with it. Like, they subbed him in when they needed to make stops. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I thought actually Kuminga would play a little bit more tonight, but I bet you he plays more game 4. And like when they come in, like they don't have to like be a facilitator on offense. Just cut to the basket. You know what I'm saying? That's when he's at his best. So be interesting to see, because usually game 4 is the game that Kerr makes the adjustments, right? Like,
well, he made a lot of adjustments after game 1.
So, yeah. I mean, also too, after game 1, they just kind of let Draymond kind of be a bully, right? And then the Celtics didn't really have an answer for it, and they're more prepared being at home for game 3. But game 4 should be like an even playing field. You know what I mean? Like, usually, I mean, I don't know if you feel the same way, or what the numbers say, but I do feel like game 3 typically goes to the home team in an even series, not in like these lopsided series where one team's way better, but like game 3, I feel like is typically the home team's game.
I mean, I feel like, that's probably true on most cases, but I feel a big part of this series was like, I mean, you said it, like Draymond in game 2, like he was a bully, dude, and the refs kind of let it go. Like, he very well could have been ejected in that game in the first half. You know what I mean? Like, that was a 50-50 flagrant call. They didn't call it. Game 2, the Warriors were down 0-1. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, we don't need to eject an important player for something like that.
Right.
But they had been ejecting guys or calling flagrants for less throughout the playoffs, right? So Draymond obviously had a target on his back heading into this game, right?
I agree.
And
I agree.
That's why I said on the show last night, I was like, bro, if there's a book out there that would give me odds on Draymond Green getting fouled out or Draymond Green getting ejected, I would absolutely take that bet, because he has a target on his back.
Too bad we don't have Barstool in Nevada, dude.
We don't.
That's the dumbest sports book in the world. Yeah. If you have Barstool wherever you are, you should only be betting there, because they give you the fucking greatest odds for the dumbest things, dude.
They were giving out free money, dude.
Yeah,
But
100%.
with that being said, like that also affected the handicap. So like I felt like that was gonna happen to Draymond, right? And it not only happened to Draymond, but it kind of happened to Steph too. Like they called him for some ticky tack fouls in the beginning too, got him into foul trouble. Didn't really affect him, but
No, he's got to be, in my opinion, he's the best player in the league with fouls. Like, I feel like he gets into foul trouble early. He seems to handle it well. So I wasn't too concerned. Like they were making a big deal about it on the broadcast when he had 3 fouls early in the second quarter or whatever. But he does that a lot, to be honest with you. He plays too handsy in the first half of games and then kind of settles down after that. But I mean, at the end of the day, dude, I feel like the Celtics just won the game. Like the one thing the Warriors can't do is they can't allow the other guys to score and like get into the rhythm of the game. In my opinion, the best defense they should play is going one-on-one against Tatum and then fucking let him miss fucking 14 shots every game or 17 shots that it was tonight. Like the dude's a volume shooter. Right. I mean, yeah, he had whatever 20 something points, but he took 17 or what was it, 20? How many shots he took? 26 shots tonight, I think. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's gonna take his shots, but he's also most of the time he's gonna hit a majority of his shots.
I mean, not right now. He hasn't hit over 50% or even close to 50% in the finals yet in these 3 games. So
well, I mean, for the Celtics,
I would just allow him to do his thing, dude.
I mean, they were trying to though. They were trying. The difference is that before in game 2, the Celtics were driving to kick. They were driving to pass. They were driving to attract fouls. Tonight, they were driving to score. And that was the biggest difference, in my opinion, was that, you know, in game 2, you could see the Warriors were kind of letting them drive because they weren't threatened by them attacking the rim. They were literally looking for them to kick. They started to do the same thing tonight in the first half, and that's why the Celtics went up big, was because the Celtics were getting a ton of shots at the rim because the Warriors weren't collapsing their defense. They were like, okay, like these guys are going to drive to kick, so we're not going to fucking collapse the defense. Like we're just going to let them drive, and they were attacking the rim, and they were scoring. That was the biggest difference. They get up to the lead, and then the Warriors kind of adjusted a little bit, started playing them for the pass. That's why Marcus Smart threw a bunch of dumb passes because he was going up for the score, but he was attracted by 3 defenders. And then by the time he goes up, he doesn't know what the fuck he wants to do with the ball. So he like turns it over. But towards the end, Jason Tatum kind of figured it out. And he was like, look, I'm going to attack the score. But the second they collapse the defense and give me 3 defenders, I'm kicking it out to the closest shot. And that's when Marcus Smart hit that big 3, wide open corner 3, because Jason Tatum attracted 3 defenders. So in that aspect, the Warriors, that's where I think the athleticism comes into play though, Eddie, because I think if like they didn't have a ton of athletic wings on the floor that could like make up ground for that kind of action on the offensive side. Like Klay, as much as we want to say he's back and stuff, like he's not the same guy he once was.
No, and to expect him to be is ridiculous, to be honest with you. Like he was most effective in game 2 when he didn't score well in game 2, but
he
like
scored well
defensively
tonight.
effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a given, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to hit his shots. Like, it's not a big deal when Klay has an off night because it's coming, but
he's had a lot
like,
of off nights in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. And again, he's played 30 games since, missing 2.5 years, 3 years.
But that's the thing is, like, before you knew you were getting, if Klay had a bad shooting night, which he would have, you were getting elite defense.
Right.
He doesn't have that now. So when you don't get the offense, you're basically fucked.
Yeah, they got to figure out the defense. They just got to figure out the defense where they're going to place guys, right? And I think they keep trying to mix and match things from game to game. Because game 1, they put Klay on Jaylen Brown. That didn't work. And then game 2, they switched Draymond over to Jaylen Brown, and that worked for the most part after the first quarter. But for the rest of the game, he kind of shut him down. And they moved Klay actually over to Al Horford, which shut him down because he can keep up with Al Horford. He's a little slower, and Horford doesn't go to the basket really.
Well, that's what Horford was doing today, though. He was going to the basket.
Yeah, and then tonight they tried the whole Jaylen Brown on Draymond thing, but then the fucking Celtics were going down low because we didn't have anybody down low. So they had to make that adjustment. But Jaylen Brown scores in the first half and then disappears the rest of the game.
Well,
Like that's
he
kind
disappeared
of
for
been
good
his
reason
MO.
in the second half because they.
What's that?
Well, the second half today, they were like they keyed on him because he dropped almost 20 points in the first.
Yeah, he
half,
scored
dude.
22 in the first, and even game 2, he scored like what 17 in the first, and I think he
Yeah.
ended up with 20. So, like, he doesn't like. I feel like he gets insanely hot for like a stretch, right? And in game 1, he got insanely hot in the fourth quarter. So like, it's just a matter of like when is he gonna get hot? But then he kind of like will disappear for some moments of the game, but you know I said before the series that this is going to be 2-2 going back to Golden State. I still feel that way.
It's a
I
must
also
win.
feel like it's going to be win loss, you know what I'm saying, pretty consistently. And if that's the case, then the Celtics are going to win the series. But at some point, a team's got to win 2 in a row. We got to wait and see what happened with Steph, though. That's going to be big time.
Yeah, he didn't look very. He looked a little hobbled, but I mean, honestly, looking at Game 4, like this is a must win in my opinion for the Warriors because,
Of course.
you know, you know, I'm not a Warriors fan, so I don't have any biases, and I watched the Celtics beat the Bucks, and as a Bucks fan, I literally said the one team I did not want to face in the East was the Celtics. I wasn't concerned about any other team in the East except for the Celtics, and obviously we play them with a hurt Chris Middleton. But we took them to 7 games, but watching that team defensively, I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. Like, if Giannis wasn't Superman, dog, we would have got swept. You know what I mean? And they swept the shit out of KD, who's one of the best players in the world. So
Yeah, no, they play good. Like they're a good defensive team. You know what I'm saying? Like
their only
and
weakness is they fucking don't have a point guard, and they get into
right,
these
and they get
lulls.
extremely hot. That's why, like,
No, they've
fucking,
been hot
like,
all playoffs, dude.
I mean, it's very what's it called? Game to game. You know what I'm saying? Like
they
game
get
2
good
they weren't.
looks, though,
Game 1
because
and game 3 they were. So
they get good looks because they force so many turnovers, dude, that it allows them to get offense without the defense set up. And because they can space the floor, like they can play a lineup with Horford, Grant Williams, who can both shoot the 3. They can literally have 5 guys that shoot the 3 at a respectable percentage where you have to respect them. You know what I mean? Like you can't just like leave them wide open. The Warriors did that in the second half of game 1 and it fucking killed them, dude. They kind of clamped down in game 1, but the Celtics turned the ball over fucking 19 times. The Celtics held the Warriors to 107 points and lost the game. You know what I mean?
right.
Game 3, a little bit different. The Celtics kind of adjusted. I do think that they had a little bit of, officiating advantage after what happened in game 2, plus home court cooking. So I think game 4, this is a must win if you're a Warriors backer or you're a Warriors, or if you're the Warriors. Like, you have to win this game. You have to go out like you need this game.
Yeah, and like if they win game 4, then like all's forgiven, right? It's like not. It's just this is where it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? So like like you said, like if they go down 3-1,
well, then Boston
pretty
still
much
has home court. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
if they can take game 4, they take back home court advantage, and the
Right.
Warriors are great at home. So, in my opinion, it's a must win.
Yeah, I agree. That game 4 is the most important game of the year. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be interesting to see, like I think Kaminga's got to play. That's my maybe my assessment of the game. And like Andre Iguodala, like there's no reason to even bring him in. You know what I'm saying? Like they're talking,
I don't think
he's gonna play. Like,
again.
no, he's not. Like we don't need him to play. He's better as a coach on the bench. And I think too, the other thing that the Celtics did pretty well tonight is they took advantage of GP2's aggressiveness. Like he was flying towards the ball every time, dude, because he's trying to cover like 3 guys out there at the same time. He just needs to settle down and like play his area. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to try to cover the entire left wing. Just guard your guy, because Marcus Smart was getting some shots on him because he was trying to what's it called, run to the corner, then run back to the post. It just wasn't working out. So just settle the guys down. I think you need some more athleticism, because if you get more athleticism too, that they can't keep Horford and Williams on the floor at the same time, and that's the key. That's what helped them in game 2.
I feel it. All right, let's move on to the NHL. So we got NHL Eastern Conference Game 5. The Rangers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Rangers win games 1 and 2, lose games 3 and 4 when it goes back to Tampa. So the home team has won every game in this series, and this is similar to what happened last series between the Rangers and Carolina Hurricanes.
It's very similar.
And now we have what's the line out right now?
I think it's Rangers minus.
The Rangers are dogs. So
are they really?
Yeah,
I can't believe that.
I saw the line earlier, dude. Let me see. Where we
There, I got you. We got Rangers plus 110.
Yeah.
Lightning minus 130. I can't believe they're a dog at home. I feel like you have to hammer that.
Yeah, I feel like that's the case too. Because I was telling Ben last night, I was like, hey, I don't know if I'm a bet game 5 because, in my opinion, game 3 with the Rangers being up 2-0 and then losing that game, giving up 3 straight goals, I feel like that was a momentum breaker with all the momentum they had built up. And then game 4, they lost 4-1, and they basically got dominated that entire game.
Oh yeah, I mean now it's I kind of knew that was coming. You know what I'm saying? Like when you lose a game with 40 seconds to go, right? Like we saw with Florida when they lost game 2 with 14 or 12 seconds to go against Tampa. You know what I mean? Like you just can't. It's hard to recover from that, dude. And the Rangers technically are like a pretty young team still.
Yeah.
So
they are. They are a young team.
Yeah, and I like the Rangers squad. I think they fly around the puck, and that first 10 minutes is going to be crucial because I think they're going to get a goal early. So if there's like those, they have those first 10-minute goals or whatever bets, I think that'd be a good one to hammer because it seems like the Rangers, they're going to be flying. I think especially after losing 4-1.
If you think the Rangers are going to win, I think that's a good bet. But that's the thing is the Rangers have been very great at home, right? So conventional logic would tell you bet the Rangers. However, Tampa Bay is a Stanley Cup championship caliber team. Like this
for sure.
They won 2 cups in a row, and now they have all the momentum, dude. And not only that, but I feel like they gave Vasilevsky a ton of confidence after game 2 because he was. I mean, they weren't even shooting good shots. They were really just throwing garbage on the fucking net. But I mean, you look at this, and I just feel like the momentum has completely switched. So if I was going to bet a team, it would probably be Tampa Bay. However, I'm not going to take those odds, which is why, in my opinion, this is a stay away game. Maybe I'll bet the Rangers. I don't know yet.
Yeah, I think I might bet props more than I would bet the game itself. Because if you look at it, Tampa Bay's given up 1 goal in the last 5 periods.
Yep.
Essentially, right? So not only is the goaltending getting hot, but now their defense figured something out. You know what I mean? Like the Rangers weren't getting those open looks that they were before. Like even though,
100%.
I feel like Tampa Bay was almost screening their own goalie pretty much the whole series, trying to block shots because that's what worked so well in the series past.
Yep.
And now it almost feels like they're pressing with their defenders, making sure that the Rangers can't get deep in the zone, and that's been working to their benefit. It's almost like they do like a 3-2, but they reverse, right?
Yeah.
So when the play comes in the zone, the forwards will move back to cover anything that goes behind the net. The defenders will come up, bam, fucking impact them at the red line, try to take the puck away early.
Yeah.
That seems to be working. Where's the adjustment the Rangers are going to be? The only adjustment for that, you dump it and run, dude, right? You got to fucking flip the puck into the opposite corner, get someone in there. That's the only way to really slow that down. So be interesting because that's the adjustment I'm looking for. Yeah. And if the Rangers can do that, I think they can get Tampa Bay early, like I just kind of mentioned. But I've been betting Tampa Bay to win this series after pretty much the whole series. So after game 1, I hit it. It was at plus 120. After game 2, I hit it again. It was plus 200. After game 3, I hit it again. After it was plus 140, and now it's I think it's even. So I kind of stayed away from it now. So I really hope Tampa Bay wins. But but I mean, if I'm the Rangers, that's the adjustment I make. You know what I mean? Now I'm also the guy sitting here in an eyelash room. So whatever they do, you know what I mean? Like whatever they figure out, that's going to be good for them. But that's the adjustment I see. And that's the thing that I think we'll see coming in. And also, if that's the strategy, we're going to see a lower scoring game.
Fucking dead, dude. Oh, I don't even know. gotta put a. I didn't even hear the last part of what you said because I was too busy laughing.
Just say it. It's gonna be. I think it's a lower scoring game. I think the under is actually where I'm gonna play, even at 5.5. But again, the under is minus
still
140.
smart.
So
Yeah.
maybe I don't mess with that either because I think the books kind of see the same thing I do going into game 5.
Yeah, it's not even worth it almost, but
right.
Yeah,
I mean, you could parlay like if whoever you think's gonna win the game and parlay it with the under, but like
I think this is more of a game that you wait and bet in game.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yes, I could see that too.
Yeah, so I think we're both in the same position. This is a tough game to really gauge because of how this series has gone. Before we get to best bets, though, I gotta say, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, 14 losses in a row now, get swept by the Boston Red Sox. Or actually, I think they have a day game tomorrow. I think it's a 4-game series. But still,
unreal, dude.
Fire Joe Madden. So after last time we talked,
it was definitely his fault.
Oh yeah, totally, dude. Because they've done such a great job. Well, I mean, dude, this is like this is unimaginable. Like you can't even make this up, bro. Because they give up 2 times in this series. They only give up 1 run and they lose because they can't score a run.
Right.
Yesterday they're up 5-3 and their bullpen can't hold a lead. I mean, this is a comedy at this time.
Yeah, sometimes like no matter what you do, you know what I'm saying, you're just gonna lose. It is what it is. Yeah, they fucking stink, and that couldn't happen to a better franchise, dude. That franchise is annoying. You got a stupid ass monkey as your fucking like mascot. Go fuck yourself, dude.
Nah, it's comedy, dude. At this point, it's like literally you can't even write how this is going for the Angels. We talked about this last week, but last time on Monday, but they still haven't got a win. When do we think their first win is going to come?
Well, I think Ohtani's pitching tomorrow, isn't he?
And they're probably still going to lose. Who are they playing? Boston
still? Yeah, he still got Boston.
Boston's probably going to tee off on him, dude.
Yeah, dude. Ohtani's one of those guys that either lights out or he gets shelled. Like, there's no, like, in between. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have, quote-unquote, quality starts. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just gets lit up or he fucking is lights out. So I don't really like to bet on Ohtani games. They're traps in my opinion. They lost 1-0 today. Unbelievable.
It's
dude.
Twice in 3 days they lost 1-0. Dude, it's
my God.
14 L's in a row. By the way, if you're listening to this, we do have a petition out to get Mike Trout out of Anaheim. Please. So go to my Twitter at JordanRulesTSP. The petition is there. I'm gonna pin it to my Twitter to the top of the feed so y'all can sign it because we need to get Mike Trout out of here, just not to the Yankees. So I should have added that dialogue in there. But I'll take him out just so we can see him in the postseason. We only seen him once, dude. We got to see him again, Eddie.
Dude, this is the problem with baseball, dude. Like, how do you have a player who's been so exciting? Like, we know it because we watch him every year, right? Because we watch A's and Angels games all the time. But like, the average baseball fan in like Cincinnati knows the name Mike Trout, but they've probably only seen him play on highlights. You know what I mean? Like, instead, we're showing the fucking Yankees and the Red Sox every Sunday night when you should be showing the fucking Angels, dude. You should be showing Mike Trout and like your star players. Baseball is the worst at like showing off their talent.
I think a big part of that is that Mike Trout's like he's pretty quiet. I just pinned it to my top of my Twitter profile. But Mike Trout's pretty quiet as a individual, so he's really hard to market. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because like, in my opinion, like Ben and I talked about this last year. I was like, dude, if I was Major League Baseball, the guy I would be fucking hyping up is Fernando Tatis Jr.
Oh yeah, he's exciting to watch,
but he's hurt. He's hurt
all the time.
Year, so it's tough, and they got. I think Major League Baseball is growing, dude. I think it's becoming a much more popular game. I think the game is much more fun to watch this year because there's less home runs. So we're seeing teams try to fucking put the ball in play a lot more. And especially recently, dude, like we're seeing a ton of overs hit. And it's not because of home runs. It's because teams are fucking getting guys on base, moving, getting guys in action, whether it's stealing or hitting with a runner on. it's exciting, dude. Like, this is what baseball is supposed to be.
Yeah, it's when the game's fun, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean, let's
there
not lie,
was a
dude. Hitting
time when
home
like
runs are
there's
good.
action on every pitch.
Yeah, but I mean,
You
like
know
the
what I mean?
'90s were the best, and like home runs were like out of control.
Well, yeah, like 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, yeah, of course. But like, you know, that's why like all the old heads, they love the game because back in their day it was a lot more about hit and run, situational hitting,
You know,
bunting guys over, grinding out for a run, you know what I mean? Like a run was important back in the day. Now,
well, no, it's
you know what I
becoming
mean?
more like that. It's becoming much more like that. But hitters are becoming so good, dude. That it's crazy, bro.
Right. And I just want the shift to go away, dude. Like
It's going away.
I know next year it'll be gone. But like I always thought that my idea of just you have to have two players on each side of second base was like a good idea.
I mean, some teams even still are. They're actually playing the shift a little bit less because it the shift sometimes, you know, you can be late on a fastball as a left-handed hitter and smack it the
Oh
other
yeah.
way for fucking a triple, dude, because there's no one
Right,
over
right.
there. So it's
Right.
like,
What's up with this four outfielders thing now too, dude? Like that's
well, that's the issue is because you have guys that like literally can rope it, like Joey Gallo, and this is why I feel bad for Joey Gallo, dude. And like he hits the ball extremely hard, like his exit velocity is like 110. You know what I mean? So it's like every time he hits it, he's roping it, dog. So he's
right.
roping it gap to the gap or over the fucking fence. So when they put four outfielders against him, it's way more difficult. They're daring
Right.
him to just bunt, but like if you
That's
just
not what he's paid to do.
yeah, that and like you just can't bunt every time. Like, what are you gonna do when runners are in position? Bunt for
Right.
what, dude? Someone's gonna get out. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. I agree. That's why like I don't know. Once they get rid of the shift, it'll improve the offense a little bit. But like I'd also like to see pitchers pitch more than fucking 3 1/3 and then be like heralded as having a great start.
Well, I mean that's the thing, dude.
Maybe
Is
that's
like
a little old school, but
Eddie fucking bullpen is becoming so much more important. Whereas like before, your bullpen was like your worst pitchers. You know what I mean?
no, I know. But like I just think the days of like a starter going 7 are obviously they're long gone, but
Well, no, if you can get a starter go 7, the issue is that now when guys see guys a third time through the order, they get knocked around. It's not that guys can't go deep. It's just that by the time they get around to the third time around, they're getting fucking blasted. So the issue is if you can get a guy that can go 7 innings, like that's a fucking stud, dude.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just a different game, you know what I mean? Like I feel like one of the old heads over here saying like I wish it was like this and I would like don't get me wrong, I love the home run and everything, but like let's make fucking baseball like 1995 again.
Yeah, so home runs galore, dude.
Not 95. That was more like 98.
No, it was like
And
in
then
the 90s and shit.
nah,
All right.
that's when the A's and the fucking Giants started fucking.
Well, they started doing it in the 80s, dog.
Yeah, that's true.
We started raking, but
They're like,
that's
hey, here's your contract. Here you go. Welcome to the bigs. Oh yeah, here's your needle.
pretty much, dude. Pretty much. All right, let's get some best bets for the people for tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Thursday, June 9th. Let's get some tickets. Let's head to the window. Let's cash these motherfuckers. Eddie, what's your best bet? Or bets?
Yeah, I got one for tomorrow. It's the Braves minus 140.
Against the
We're
A's?
talking run line. The
Jeez.
Braves, the Atlanta
I know
Braves.
against the A's.
No. The Braves are now playing the Pirates.
Oh, we only had a 2-game set against them?
Yeah, luckily. So yeah, they're going against Pittsburgh. JT Brubaker's pitching for Pittsburgh. 0-5 at the 4.7 ERA. Kind of like a bad luck run that he's had. And I think that continues. Plus, the Braves just played the A's, so they got hot offensively. They put up 13 today. You know what I'm saying? They're starting to rake a little bit. So I'm definitely taking the Braves minus the 1.5 run line. I think that's just looking at it now. And I would take, anyone against the Angels. So Red Sox going with Nick Pivetta against Shohei Ohtani. I'll take the fucking Red Sox money line. You get plus 120 on that right now.
That's actually pretty good value.
Yeah.
I got a best bet for tomorrow, so I'm staying away from the hockey game. Like I said, I'm gonna take that in game. But I like the Chicago White Sox first 5 money line against the Dodgers. And the Dodgers are sending Tyler Anderson to the mound. And he's been great this season, 2.59 ERA, but he does sport a 3.55 xFIP. And the White Sox are first in MLB and WRC plus versus left-handed pitching with 133. Dylan Cease has a 3.39 ERA with a 3.28 xFIP. So you expect his ERA is not as bad as, his ERA isn't as bad as the numbers suggest. And really his ERA is affected by 2 starts, and that's versus the Red Sox and the Yankees. He doesn't get Dylan Cease does get a lot of swinging strikes, and in the last 2 weeks the Dodgers are 20th in contact percent in the zone. White Sox bullpen may blow it, so I feel safe taking the first 5 money line here. White Sox at home, they're getting healthier too. Yohan Makana's back, Luis Roberts back, so give me
what
the
are you
White
getting
Sox.
at White Sox money line first 5?
Like minus 105. So
Okay.
the whole game right now they're like plus 110.
Nah, fuck the whole game.
Yeah,
How about the White Sox?
I don't trust their bullpen outside of Hendricks really. So
Right, they can't even get to him.
yeah, and even he hasn't been that great this year either. So I like that.
Typical
first 5.
fucking old days closer, dude. You go somewhere else, and we've already worn your arm out.
Bro, I tried to tell these White Sox fans, bro. I tried to tell them, dude, don't ever sign a A's closer, dude. It always ends bad.
Ever.
Bro.
It's never worked out. I think the best one was maybe Isringhausen for like 2
Houston
years
Street.
in St. Louis. Houston Street was he had a long career, but he was never dominant.
He had that good run in
Angels.
Colorado when he went to the World Series with them.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
But yeah, he
forgot about that.
after us, he struggled in Anaheim, and then he went to Colorado and had that like one good year, and then he was never the same after that.
Right. He was just done, dude. I mean, fuck. We had Bailey who went off and fucking retired a year later, dude.
Basically, yeah, he was never. He couldn't stay healthy for shit.
Nah,
dude.
yeah.
He was nice, so I like Bailey. Grant Belfort never did anything after.
Grant Belfort fucking cost us a series trying to fucking fight Miguel Ordonez. Maglio Ordonez, excuse me. Maglio Ordonez.
Let's not bring it up, man. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope that you took this information and are going to use it for your future bets. Remember, if you lose a bet, which is very normal, make sure to learn from your mistakes and move forward. That's what you got to do. I'm telling you. I've had an extremely cold 4 weeks.
Yeah, there's one other thing you got to do to win your next bet. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, you're going to win your next bet. Guaranteed.
Like and subscribe to the YouTube, and you will definitely win your next bet. For Mr. Raider Eddie, I'm Jordan Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. Lads, make sure to go to Devour.com or download the Devour app straight to your mobile device and use promo code Taproom for $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. We are out of here. Have a great Thursday. I will be back Sunday night with Big Ball and Ben Larson. So y'all have a great Thursday, Friday.
This dude's all fucked up.
Oh, Eddie, by the way, the Live Championship, dude.
Yeah, oh, you know what's funny?
We didn't even get to talk about this, dude.
Yeah. I'm going to bring this up because I even wrote down before we started, make sure to talk about Phil Mickelson. And here I am. Forgot to talk about Phil Mickelson, dude.
Let's talk about him.
Yeah. It's smart, in my opinion. Like, these guys, like, first off, DJ goes over, gets 125 mil just to show up, right? Doesn't even have to win, doesn't have to do anything. He's getting paid. And it's not you're playing worse talent, and you're already the best player out there, right? So you'll probably win the tournament and win more. So, like, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The PGA Tour, if we want to talk about like an organization that will not change its ways, let's talk about the PGA Tour. They've never had competition. Ever. So this is beautiful in my eyes. Maybe it like creates something. Maybe we can get more players to go over to that tour. Now, I want to always see them play the PGA Tour, but let's be real. How many people are watching golf unless it's a major?
I mean, even the majors have been down in ratings. I mean, also, like, I think the biggest thing with the LIV or Live tournament, in my opinion, is that they're like paying these golfers to play. So what incentive does it give them to win?
Right. I mean, they don't have to. They can go out there and just shit the bed.
Because they're getting paid just to show up.
Right, and that's very true. But like at the same, I think it's gonna be more of like a because golf's like an individual sport. You know what I'm saying? So I bet you that's more of like a pride thing. Like you paid me, and I'm gonna come over here and dominate here. You know, I don't know. We'll see. This will be.
see.
It's interesting because this has never happened before.
First
Right?
events this weekend, right? In London?
Yeah. This weekend starts. I think it starts tomorrow.
That's crazy. No, Friday, I think. I think it's only Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Is it okay?
Only 3
So then
days.
Friday. But what? How many hours are they ahead though?
8.
It could start probably when we're in bed or something.
Yeah, that's true. All right, y'all. Have a great fucking have a great Thursday. Love y'all. Peace.
Peace.